if the technical high school, supported by the University of Technology, is not going to play a serious role with RADA and the farming community in terms of upgrading the skills of our farmers. That's where I believe we just have to begin. The money that we have spent so far on highways for tourism, we need some investment in the parochial road network to assist farmers to take what they produce to market and to take inputs that they need to their farms. So we have to deal with that infrastructure. So we have to deal with the training, or we have to, the present level of training and education in the farming community cannot modernize agriculture. And with the absence of it, young people are not going in, because no young person wants to spend the rest of their life with a cutlass or a hoe or a fork. The low level of technology means that there are low returns. Wherever you have farming that is not modernized, the returns are low. And nobody wants to take up an economic activity that you can't make money from. And in Jamaica, a young man prefers to take his chances with scamming whether or not he's going to get caught than to go through getting up every morning, trying to do a crop he's not going to get any marketing support for, or you don't know how to produce it that you can compete. So, I have no doubt that particularly with this pandemic, our best shot at economic recovery is the modernization of the agricultural sector. Food security is the #1 priority. We will not be able to afford the $2 billion or from what we import. And a lot of what we import doesn't add to the nutrition of the country. And while we are importing, we are already a senior member of CARICOM. There's a market waiting on us. Apart from that now, there are Jamaican communities abroad, particularly in North America and Britain, that provide a ready-made market for Jamaican food. So we'll reach the next stage now. There's the training, there's access to land, there's access to credit, there's infrastructure. All of those. And the farming community, there has to be some recognition of state support marketing. The markets island-wide are in the most dilapidated condition, both for selling and buying. And part of the investment that is necessary is packaging and marketing. The final part of this equation for me is that we allow the tourist industry to import a lot of what they feed visitors to the country with. And that has to be corrected. You cannot have an agricultural sector that is not integrated with tourism. And I want to make an example for you. About 5 years ago, you have the emergence of what we refer to as Airbnb. That is tourists or visitors in Jamaica who want a heritage experience. They don't want to be in a hotel room. The growth has been phenomenal, but to date it has had no or just marginal support from the state. The last survey I saw showed that tourists were staying in rooms of Jamaicans island-wide. Manly Meadows at 34, Mount St. James had 500 rooms of Airbnb. And the comments from these visitors, what they wanted most, where they go, was two things: access to Wi-Fi and a flush toilet. Most of them requested an outdoor shower. And nearly all of them wanted to learn to cook with the Jamaican homes where they stayed, so they could learn to cook Jamaican. So it would be, this kind of tourism would make the income from it flow island-wide.
To the average person.
And if a community is making money, who better to protect the tourism than the people themselves who are making a living from it?
Yes, that's true.
So I really see a lot of possibility for the agricultural sector, but we need to get it right.
Yes, sir.
And the state need to play a lead role.
Yes, sir. Education
and training, infrastructure, marketing, access to credit,
yes, sir.
and access to land. In terms of my advice to young people, over the last 10 years, there's been a very alarming situation that has developed. If you look at the labor survey, there's a category there of people, unless you're looking for work, you're not considered to be part of the unemployed. An unemployed person, by the official designation, is somebody who is looking for work.
Yes, that's true.
All right. If you are not looking for work, there's a category that they call neither working nor looking for work. You are unattached.
Yes.
The latest survey says there are over 300,000 Jamaicans between 15 and 34 who are neither working nor looking for work. Many of them have been to school, secondary school, for 4 years or more without any certification at all, not even a single subject. They are responsible for 75% of the violent crime in the country, and they provide 75% of the victims of violent crimes. No. In a country with a population of less than 3 million, for you to have over 300,000 between 15 and 34 who are neither working nor looking for work, and for the most part depending on crime for their daily, it means that we need urgently to look again at what we are doing with education and training.
Yes, mostly.
Each family, when you look at the family budget, most of it goes to education or trying to educate the children.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether it's paying school fees or lunch or bus fare. At the present time, not even trained lawyers seem to be able to get employment. And what my message to young people, and that is a message that requires the state also to be supportive of. We need a transformation of the entire education and training system. This idea that boys are going to get along with a liberal arts curriculum from age 4 to age, they won't. All the experience shows that boys are attracted by technical subjects. And the curriculum that we are offering in our high schools, even from our primary education, needs to be revised.
Yes, that's true.
There's one particular subject I want to pay attention. That's a subject called English. Jamaica is the third largest English-speaking country in this hemisphere after the United States and Canada. English is a language of international finance, and more recently, we have tried to establish a new sector in the economy that has to do with training our young people to provide services, IT services.
Yes, sir.
One investor in Montego Bay says she had to interview 15 young people to get one with the competence in English. And yet, if you have a certified competence in English, you are guaranteed either a job or a training opportunity.
Okay.
And yet, the school system is such where most of the children leave without the competence in English. The same is true for mathematics, and the same is true for computer science.
Yes,
But we cannot help our young people with the present education system. Speaking personally, if I was to credit one factor to any success I've had in life,
yes, sir.
and I would say it is the habit of reading. From I was very, very young, 4 years of age, my mother in particular encouraged me in terms of reading. I read everything,
Yes, sir.
morning, noon, or night. And that habit has allowed me academic success in terms of as a writer, success at all stages of my academic and professional life. The other, I would say, and that is, I've been fortunate
Yes, sir.
to have had 2 parents, and to have grown up in a home with both parents. Every child growing up in a single parent home begins with a disadvantage. And a reading habit, a home with 2 parents, and the third is that between church and school
Yes.
gave me a grounding in certain basic values that have been very important. In terms of Jamaica and non-Jamaica going forward, I've already spoken about respect to the economy. But I don't think Jamaica is going to overnight find all the skills they need for development.
Yes, sir.
And we need a far better relationship with the diaspora in both North America and Europe.
Europe.
It can't be just to send money to Jamaica,
Yeah, that's right.
because they have a range of skills that we just badly need, particularly in technology and education. We badly need those skills.
Yes, that's right.
And the other end is that we have to find a way to retain more of our best people. The last estimate I saw was that some 70% of our graduates
I agree.
go abroad.
Yeah, that's right.
I see the nursing, the health profession is under threat now in terms of nurses.
And especially in COVID-19 time.
And every country has relaxed
Yes.
the laws to attract Jamaican nurses.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Big priority.
Yes.
And whether it is remuneration or conditions of work, we just need to look at it. But bottom line, we live in a country that has been the world's largest sugar producer, has been the world's largest bauxite producer, has been the world's largest producer of bananas, that produce an intelligence that holds their own in North America, United States, Canada. And there's no good reason why Jamaica is not further ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a survey that advised everybody to look at, put out by the UNDP in 1970. They did a ranking of 70 countries, developed and developing. Jamaica was ranked at 18 and Singapore was ranked at 26 in 1970. We have gone downhill. And we need to examine what is the reason for it and correct it. But
Here we have it.